Welcome to episode 2 for The Mandalorian. Thank you for watching. By all means, hit the website. Enjoy. I want to kind of come back at some of the comments that I got, and I do appreciate your comments. This is the internet. Arguing is kind of what we're here for. So, by all means, any posted comments, by all means. First off, with the entire not a Star Wars series, how does that pertain to what it means? Let me give you an example. Take my wife, for example. Not a Star Wars fan. Could not care less about Star Wars. If she sat down to watch episode 1 with me, or pretty much any of the series, just because she heard it was an engaging TV show, while I'm sitting there watching it, and the Mandalorian's going through his bounties, and she sees, the Greedo creature, the other creatures that I know because I'm a Star Wars fan, she doesn't know what they are. All they are to her is just relative aliens. The Yoda at the end, she could care less about. All that is just another alien. No different from the Mandalorian or Nick Nolte or anybody else that she's seen. While I'm over there going, holy crap, that's a baby Yoda. Yeah, that's, like I said, she has no point of reference. She has no reason to care what that is, why that's so important, what that's so awesome about. Most of the things that you see in the background, the whole eye that shoots out before he goes into the bounty hunter base that looks just like the thing in front of Jabba's palace. She doesn't know. She doesn't care. It doesn't do anything for her. But that is what I mean when I say just because something is fascinating for a Star Wars fan, taking this as its own, as a standalone show, it means nothing. Now, true, later on we may actually get some development as far as why Baby Yoda is that important, but not right now. It doesn't mean anything. Now, episode 2, we actually get to see some of what Baby Yoda can do, so that would kind of tell her that, yes, this baby's important, and here's why. Because it's able to use the Force. Because, it's a rare species, so to speak. Extremely rare. Like I said, there's only 2 that I'm aware of. I'm sure there's more in some of the non-canonical stuff and Clone Wars and the cartoons and all the other crud, but still, you get my point. Now, next up, I don't think this planet's Tatooine. I just don't. For one reason, or the biggest reason, I guess I should say, is dual suns. Tatooine has 2 suns. That's part of the reason why it's a desert planet. And if you watch as much Neil deGrasse Tyson as I do, yeah, you're going to be able to see both suns the vast majority of the time. Especially whenever you're seeing like one sunset, you're going to be able to see that partial other sun glow. So no, I think this is a different planet. Another thing that I'm loving about The Mandalorian, this isn't tied into the whole Star Wars thing. Maybe there's more than one desert planet in the entire universe, and this one's not Tatooine. So yes, thank you. Maybe we're actually exploring a brand new planet, which is so daggone nice. So yeah, I don't think this is Tatooine at all, and I, for one, am thankful. But let's get into episode 2, shall we? Okay, start off with the Mandalorian and the little egg, which I'm guessing is mechanically controlled because he does kind of like tapping on it. So apparently Baby Yoda is not controlling that by itself, because we don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet, and Yoda does have 2 sexes, I guess, in that race. But it was pretty interesting because you kind of see the shadows along the wall, you kind of see the lights flicker a little bit, and then all of a sudden he's jumped by 2 other bounty hunters, which he's able to take out. Again, kind of interesting because not only is his weapon close range, but also long range. One of them finally decides he's going to make a running gamble to try to take it out, and he's evaporated, which is pretty interesting. I kind of like the way that the follow-up, like I said, they're just erased. It's not like a blaster and they go down. It's like, zoop, out they go. But he's able to take him out, but he does, again, take some damage. Which, again, they're supposed to be this huge, badass people, and he's supposed to be the baddest of the badasses. But yet these 2 generic nobodies show up. He's able to take damage again. Again, he gets his ass beat. He wins, but, he does take some damage. And, of course, we see the little bounty hunter tags, which apparently these creatures didn't have pockets, which makes no sense. But kind of makes you wonder, is there another job that's after him, or is it another bounty hunter group that's coming after him? Is he now, did the IG-88 send something up saying he was betrayed in between trying to self-destruct? So who knows? And then he gets up there. We get to kind of our main series where the Jawas have taken apart his ship because apparently he doesn't have LoJack, and he goes after him. And again, I have a little bit of issues with it. Jawas are scavengers. They kind of grab everything that isn't nailed down. You would think they would have tried to throw up some kind of defense against the Mandalorians, or against the Mandalorian, but he is basically shooting them from cover, so they're kind of screwed regardless. But you would think with a ship that big, they could have like taken the whole daggone ship. I mean, because obviously it's a working space-going vessel, so why would you rip it into shreds? You know, it doesn't kind of make a whole lot of sense. If you own a chop shop, why would you take a singular, highly important vehicle and basically rip it to shreds if you didn't have to? You know, you chop it up just because you're trying to hide it from the cops, not because you're like, oh, I've got this restored one of a kind vehicle. Well, let's just yank the hood off of it. Just doesn't make any sense to me. I did love him trying to climb up the sides using his grappling hook, which is really well done, and them kind of throwing stuff at him. Again, if you're scavengers, why are you throwing anything at him that you just like picked up? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Kind of would have been nice to see if they were like throwing liquids at him. That would have been more interesting. But it was really interesting to watch him, like they were opening up the side panels. He was grabbing them or shooting at them. They were hitting it with sticks. That was all kind of really interesting. Kind of go along with the whole Jawa childlike creatures that we kind of got from the first Star Wars movie, chronologically. But I found that kind of fascinating. And then once he finally gets up to the top, they're all waiting on him with guns. That's just hilarious. And then he loses. He gets beat by a bunch of Jawas. Again, what I torture my oldest firstborn son with the whole Mandalorian thing is he's a big Boba Fett fan, and I keep laughing at him. It's like, no, Boba Fett's not that impressed because he gets beat by a blind guy with a boat paddle, which is kind of the old Boba Fett thing. And now this guy, the baddest Mandalorian of them all, gets beat by a whole bunch of Jawas. So yeah, I guess they're giants with feet of clay, I suppose. But he is dropped like a rock. And you got to think this thing's got to be at least 150 feet, right? But his armor protects him, even though it's all sparky. But that kind of, apparently this armor is pretty good. Apparently it's pretty badass. And then we finally get where he's doing some soft repair. And I'm not quite sure why he hasn't taken off his helmet yet. I mean, it's the Prince of Dorne. I mean, he's a good actor. He's got good facial expressions. He's got expressive eyes, which I think really sets actors apart nowadays in the age of CGI, is how they look in the eyes, how they're able to show emotion in their eyes. One thing I really got into a fuss about is why I like Robin Williams so much as an actor is because he's able to emote so much just by looking at his eyes. Prince of Dorne's good like that. He's that good an actor. He can put a lot of stuff out through his eyes and through his facial expressions. But he actually speaks English. I mean, actually talks here. The first third of the episode, The Mandalorian, and nobody says nothing. It is a silent. I mean, it could be a silent film for all we know, which is kind of annoying. I mean, you do kind of need some kind of verbiage other than just set piece to set piece to set piece. But he's doing all this with his helmet on. And I kind of wonder, if you're a middle-aged nerd like myself, shocking, I know, how's he seeing all this? I mean, unless he's looking down the little vertical slit in the helmet, he's going to go cross-eyed trying to look and see where all he's at. Why isn't he taking off his helmet? That just doesn't make any sense to me. But still, Yoda climbs out of its little carrier thing, tries to help out, and he's like, no. So finally he has to get up to Nick Nolte. Nick Nolte says, well, let's go talk to the Jawa, see if we can get your stuff back. He's like, no, it's mine. He's like, well, maybe we could borrow it for it. No, it's mine. He's like, dude, you don't understand. You didn't try these Jawas once and they whooped your ass. So let's try to talk to them. So I found that kind of funny. I really enjoyed that part because I have spoken, which I will tell you as a married man does not work on your wife, but it's worth a shot. So we get a funny bit here. Then we get a nice little bit with, I guess, the alien rhino, which again, thought was funny. Again, Mandalorian gets his ass beat. My gosh, he's not coming out undefeated against anybody, is he? He's taking damage from everybody, which I guess is why his armor's so important, because the rhino just is whooping his ass. Yoda comes out, lifts it up, passes out from the stress. but gives him time to hit him with a knife. I've seen some things where they talk about why was that knife shot enough to kill that big old huge beast, but from other things that I've read is the knife is made of a special metal where it does like a vibration damage. So I don't really have a problem with that. Again, being a being a killer, it's kind of the whole things where I could, I've got 106 ways to kill with my little finger. I'm not surprised he's not able to hit like a central nerve where he knows just where to stab it. It's not like he just stabbed it blindly and it died. So I don't really have a problem with him killing it in one blow, basically. Uh, but he does capture the egg. I love how the egg's covered in fur, just like everything else. But I found that kind of hilarious. So the Mandalorian wins, gets the egg, which the Jawas which is kind of funny. I kind of was wondering if they were gonna like raise it to have this pet or something. No, they're just gonna eat it. So that's kind of fun. I enjoyed that little bit. Do again kind of wonder, these are scavengers. They're very resource targeted, I guess you could say, but yet they're spilling this egg mix everywhere. But still, it's a minor quibble. But like I said, I really enjoyed it. I was laughing, not gonna lie. The Jawas, I really enjoyed. I like the way they're building the Jawas up. And again, it's not on Tatooine, so at least the Jawas have space travel, which is kind of interesting. It might be something to kind of look at in the future. So the Mandalorian gets his parts back, Nick Nolte, and we have our montage, which is, again, kind of fascinating. But I would have liked some conversations, some humanizing of this Mandalorian. I mean, again, why do we care about this guy? But he gets it. Him and Baby Yoda take off, which, again, I enjoyed. So overall, I like this episode much better, episode 1. I have much more good feelings going forward. This, like I said, I feel that we did a lot into showing the importance of Baby Yoda, about how the Mandalorian is damaged, but he is repairable, about how he actually can fight. He does deserve some of this rep, even though, again, he got beat up by Jawas, but still, I mean, their home territory. But he did show a lot of competence, actually, fighting and winning. Again, maybe he's not the baddest thing ever, because I have to think that you should be able to outsmart a woolly rhino. But again, I have a lot more faith going forward in this. We do have a larger world. We're not tied to Tatooine. We're not tied to the Skywalkers. Hopefully this Yoda has nothing to do with regular Yoda. But I still have some quibbles. Like I said, what you go out and you get the Prince of Dorne, why aren't you using him? Why aren't you using his acting abilities? Why aren't you using that personality that he brings to everything that I've seen him in? Even the crappy movies that I've seen him in. But why are you taking that away? Why are you not putting that into him? But there's a lot of little things that I like. The way he has the little, the way he kind of saw the ambush coming, the way he reacted to it, the way he just didn't care. He's going to pop off a couple of Jawas. He's going to take out the ambushing bounty hunters that are against him. Same way he did with the IG-88. He's very singular focused, which does kind of bode well for him going forward. Maybe he's going to be identifying with this Yoda and not just going to bring him back. Maybe he's going to take on the whole bounty hunter empire to defend this thing. But like I said, I have a lot more faith going forward at the end of episode 2 than I do episode 1, and I'm very thankful for that. One tiny bit here. I know Yoda's lived forever, but yeah, 50 years old and you still got to change this thing's diapers? That's got to get old, and I mean like quick. Now, of course, Yoda was 90 when he died, so that basically means that Baby Yoda would basically be a human age of 5 at this point. And yeah, if my 5-year-old's still having to be carried around in a baby carrier, and I'm having to tell it to spit stuff out that he's just like picking up randomly eating, kind of got problems. But still, like I said, 50 years is a long freaking time to put up with that kind of stuff. I mean, could you imagine having basically a decade of the terrible twos? As the father of 5, would not look forward to that. But like I said, I am filled with hope. Cannot wait for episode 3. No, I'm kind of dropping this to you midweek, but like I said, kind of playing catch up a little bit. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, by all means, drop me a like, drop me a comment, complain if you want. Great Haterades, always accepted. So, have a nice day. I have spoken.